Hello there, this is the Great Battles of the Moog clones. So today I decided to do something different. I decided to get the Behringer Model D that is hopefully tuned and compare it to three other Minimoog clones that I have available. We have the Arturia Mini V, and then I have the Diva, the Diva that emulates a lot of analog synths. And one of the options is actually getting the Minimoog settings, and then I have the Steinberg Model E that is a free VST that emulates the Minimoog, and as you can see it's ancient. So what I decided to do is I decided to take some patches, I guess, and try to compare all those options. There are more Minimoog clones out there, of course, many more VSTs emulating Minimoogs, but I just wanted to check those ones. And here we can have the oscillators of each one, the Arturia, the Diva, the Model E and the Behringer Model D, and see how they works. Our first patch to use will be a rolling bass. Let's see how this works. Alright, our first tries will be a rolling bass. I took a preset of the Arturia Mini V that's called a bass you will use. That's a great bass path, as you can see. And let's start listening to things. That's the bass line used. You can definitely see that, yeah, the oscilloscopes are very different. So yes, as you can see, none of the clones are one-to-one. So let's start with the Behringer, the hardware one. You can probably hear this deep bass sound. It doesn't sound that exciting, it probably needs more contour, and we'll do that in a while later. Actually, let's normalize those because they're annoying. If there is some noise floor, then that's a nice deep bass sound. Now let's go for the Model E. It sounds unimpressive, and considering this is free synthesizer, very old VST, it's probably not a contender for the best sound here, and it's not, basically. Now this is the Mini V, the bass you'll use preset. That's really nice. It actually sounds different. I think it's about the snappiness of the envelopes or the contour. Maybe if I add more contour to the Model D. You can hear how different they sound because there's something on the envelope on the Arturia one. There is a slight attack, and the Model D, not so much. It's smoother. I'm not sure if there is some sort of FM here. No, there's no FM. Finally, let's get to Diva. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner here, I believe. That's really deep. That's actually quite hardcore. Yeah, Diva sounds really smooth. But I guess I'll give the Mini D, the Model D, the prize for this one, because it sounds really deep, really, there's no annoying transient on this one. And speaking of annoying transient, I'll do the same experiment. We'll use the same pads on an octave bass that goes like that. And actually I may add some, oh, there's a lot of resonance. Oh, it's the resonance. The resonance on the Model D is smoother. So let's see how they sound on the octave bass. Again, the oscilloscopes are different. That's very smooth. That's very, very smooth. Very sweet. I like it. But the bass on the Model D is just phenomenal. Now let's listen to the Arturia one, and I'll play with the resonance. You know what? I believe this is better. There is less low end, but there's a nice thumb to it. It's down to preference. Now let's listen to the Diva. I may have screwed up this one. Yep, I have. This is the proper way. You know what, there is some boxness in the Diva that I don't like, so yeah, no points for me. I think the Arturia Mini V is actually better on this one. Yeah, Model A is just not great. But it's free, and it's actually quite, I'd say, capable synth. It's just not great for emulating a Minimoog. So next one is going to be a pad sound, and here, oh my, this is gonna be very, oh yeah, right, I forgot something very important. The Mini V does have effects, however they're not in use here, as you can see. So yeah, those are very close. However, for the next ones, for the pad and the leads and all the stuff, we'll probably need to use to deactivate effects. It will be a bloodbath, really. It will be a bloodbath because it's very hard to do. Let's raise it to F5. Alright, I tried doing a pad sound, and oh boy, that's a mess. And I'll tell you why in a minute. So the basic idea is, actually I'll have you, there's no effects, so yes, you can assume that you need a chorus and a reverb on every one of these, but let's start with the Model D. Yeah, it's pad where the LFO controls the filter and creates ebbs and flows. Very harsh and metallic sounding. It definitely needs a bit of how you call it, a bit of filtering and chorus, maybe add a second one, octave lower, so we can have a better idea of how it plays, but they will be very different, I can guarantee that. It's not a bad sound, and basically if you make it longer it'll probably be much more enjoyable. A nice pad to use. We have a square that's a fifth up, and a saw that's an octave up, and yeah, that's how it works. No envelope contour, no resonance, pretty high on the cutoff frequency. It's modulated by the LFO, and then we have no attack, some decay, and some sustain on the filter. But that should not be important because we have no filter contour. That's interesting, not sure why it's there this way. Yeah, I was just using this template as a way to do it, but there's no filter modulation or oscillator modulation here. Actually, there should be. No, there's not. I've done it over here on the LFO. Again, no effects. It's the morphing preset from Mini-V. So yeah, that's the idea. It's monophonic, no unison. Let's listen to it how it sounds on the Arturia Mini-V. Maybe too gentle, needs more it's nice, nothing impressive, and now if we add the effects, it should sound like that. Much better. Again, raw synths can be deal breakers. They need external effects. Now let's go to Diva. That sounds fantastic. That sounds deeper, more analog than analog. Now let's add some chorus and delay. Okay, this is divine. It's not just... yeah, it's divine. Not just great. Diva definitely wins on this one. It sounds the way you want analog to sound. It's great note for the Model E, which bear in mind has no LFO, so it'll be like... Nope. it's a big nope, really. Which is the same. It's not a bad synthesizer, it's just not great. So let's get to the next one. Let's make an ARP like this. The way it's right now, it should sound like, you know, this. But we don't want that. We don't want that. We want the snappier pads, and that's what we're making. Alright, we tried copying these settings to everything. That's an original paths, I guess. Right, so let's start. Everything is off. You'll see that they're vastly different, and they sound vastly different too. Let's have them with D. It's great sounding. I like it a lot. Very metallic, the Arturia Mini V. I'd say it sounds better. It sounds much more detuned, larger, more interesting, no effects applied. Now let's go to Diva, that's quite different. Diva is smooth and patchy, maybe needs more envelope. It sounds very, very different, and I think it has to do with the envelope timing. Diva is not on one translation of the envelope, so there will be some way to find this. You'll need to change the sound and adjust it. It sounds very creamy, which is interesting, very smooth. Great sound, I like it a lot. However, it's vastly different to this or this. They're all very different after a while. And now the Model E, which is like... It sounds a lot like Diva. But you know what, that's a great sound. That's a great sound, I like it a lot. I want to save it as a preset. Song I'm using if I try to do house or trance or something like that, it's definitely going there. It's quite good, but you can hear how different they are, and it needs a lot of work to get them to sound the same. Then I'll go for a lead, which is something like that. Just to give you an idea, I'll go for, I think the Diva will do. Yes, I'll have to do a brass sound, I guess. So there we go. See you. Alright, this one was harder. This is pads I have made originally in a microbrew, use it in a song, and then I converted it to Diva. It should be like that, but I have to change pretty much everything because it was not sounding the same on any device. So without further ado, let's go for the Diva one first. It sounds fantastic. Has a lot of release too. Now let's go for the Behringer one. As you can hear, it's much more metallic. The Diva sounds smoother overall and great sounding. I had to set oscillator 2 one octave down to give it more body. I think I've also done some changes to the contour, and yeah, it sounds very metallic overall. Diva is definitely the smoother, creamier one. Yeah, I reduced the contour too, because with the contour on it sounded like this. And if I go one octave up on this oscillator, like the Diva to match the Diva, it sounds much different. It may have to do with how Diva uses those values to... they're not the same, so putting the same values doesn't work. Now let's see how the Arturia does it. For the Arturia one, I have to warn you that I have done pretty much what I've done on this one, except that the feedback is off, because with the feedback on it will sound like this, which is not ideal. But with it off, let me see if I have... yes, the modulations are off, no effects on. Let me go. It's definitely cleaner, smoother than this one, less metallic. Not fantastic though, needs effects, and the Model E should be like this. So yeah, the Diva is king, as you can see. Diva is a great VST. Let's add some effects on it. Probably this is the synth sound you want to hear when you think of a synth. So that was the comparison between the Model D and Diva and Mini V, and also Model E from Steinberg. Yeah, I mean, they're different. They use different values. They don't sound the same. They excel at different stuff. The bass on this thing here is just like over the top, but Diva does sound smooth and probably more analog than analog gear, which is a big plus, I guess. U-Hey really nails it with Diva, so if you want to buy a VST that does a lot of the classic synth sounds, Diva is a go-to. Arturia is like, it's not hitting exactly the same way as either of them. It has a lot of emulation of classic synths, but the sound is not always there. It can sound quite as good as well. The interface is definitely much better than Diva in my opinion. The options are more with the filters. It's competent. Model A is good for cheap. It's good for free. But that's all. Overall, yes, that was the comparison, and hope you like it. I have heard great things about Monark too, but haven't used it. So yeah, leave a comment below your opinion, what's best and what you want to get, if you don't want to get all three of them. and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching.